Hey everyone, what happens when someone is sued and they don't show up in court? No defense, no explanation, just silence. In civil litigation, silence is never golden because silence can cost you the whole case. Today, we are diving into the powerful yet often misunderstood world of default judgments, what it is, how it works, and why ignoring court papers could be the biggest legal mistake you ever made. Let's say you lend your friend John $10,000. John promises to repay you in a month. A month passes, nothing. You send text messages, you call, you email, John ghosts you. So you sue John in the civil courts of Singapore. But when the deadline comes for John to respond to your court papers, he does not. He ignores the court papers. He doesn't file a notice of intention to contest. He doesn't file a defense. He doesn't appear. Can you win the case even without a trial? Yes. And that's exactly what default judgment is. Default judgment gives you the legal right to take out enforcement proceedings, which includes seizing assets and auctioning them off, freezing and then seizing money in bank accounts, or even bankrupting the other party. In simple terms, a default judgment is a judgment made by the court in favor of one party because the other party failed to respond or to participate in the legal process. Now let's rewind a little. Before a default judgment can even happen, there's something that comes first. You must be served with the court papers. In the past, these papers were called the writ of summons. But under the new rules of Court 2021, it is now called the originating claim. This originating claim formally notifies you that you're being sued and what the other party is claiming from you. So what must you do? To respond, you must file a notice of intention to contest or not contest. This was previously known as the Memorandum of Appearance. You have 14 days to do this if you are served with the court papers in Singapore, or 21 days if you are served with the court papers overseas. But that's not all. Once you file the notice of intention to contest, you then have 21 days from the date of being served to file your defense to the claim. If you fail to do either, the other side who sues you can immediately apply for default judgment. Now, why does this concept even exist? Imagine courts were forced to conduct full trials even when the defendant disappears or simply refuses to engage. That would be a massive waste of judicial resources, and it would be unfair to plaintiffs or claimants who are left hanging. So default judgment was created as a legal shortcut, a way to resolve a case efficiently when the other party refuses to play ball. The concept comes from English common law and has been adapted into Singapore's legal system. It's built on the idea that if you are sued and choose to ignore it, the court can assume you have no defense. Justice delayed is justice denied. Justice ignored is justice defaulted. Let's make this real. In the first scenario, you are the landlord. Your tenant hasn't paid rent for 6 months. You sue for the unpaid rent and in order to get back your property. The tenant ignores the originating claim. No appearance, no defense file. You then apply for default judgment, and the courts grant you the money order for the unpaid rent and an order for possession. That means you can take back the property. You can then use the judgment to take out enforcement proceedings against your tenant. Next scenario, you and your friend start a business. You invest $50,000 into the company account. Your friend then withdraws the money and vanishes. You then sue him by filing a claim, and he doesn't respond to the court documents at all. You apply for default judgment. The court awards you the full amount of $50,000 plus interest and legal costs. Again, you can use the default judgment to take out enforcement proceedings against your friend and seize and auction off his assets, or freeze his bank account, take out the monies, assuming you know where his assets are or where his bank account is, or you can then take out bankruptcy proceedings against your friend. Let's look at the law behind all of this. The relevant laws governing default judgment in Singapore are found in the Rules of Court 2021, which replaced the older rules starting from 1st April 2022. Here's what you need to know. Under Order 6, Rule 5, a defendant, the person getting sued, must file and serve a notice of intention to contest or not contest within 14 days after the originating claim and statement of claim is served on him. If no notice is filed, the claimant may apply for judgment in default. Under Order 6, Rule 77, if the defendant files a notice of intention to contest, but then fails to file a defense within 21 days after being served the originating claim and statement of claim, the claimant can apply for default judgment. There are different procedures depending on what the claimant is claiming. For money claims, the claimant can simply request default judgment for the amount claimed in the SOC, the statement of claim. So the Rules of Court 2021 provide a streamlined and clear process, but you have to act within the timelines or risk losing by default. Default judgment is powerful. For claimants, previously known as plaintiffs, it's a fast track to justice when the defendant refuses to respond. It saves time, it saves costs, and it prevents abuse of process by people who think they can avoid the system by simply going quiet. But it's not a magic bullet. A defendant can still apply to set aside a default judgment, especially if they have a good reason for missing the deadlines and a genuine defense worth hearing. So if you are a claimant, make sure your claim is strong. If you are a defendant, do not ignore court papers. That silence may cost you everything. At the end of the day, default judgment reflects a core legal principle. The court helps those who help themselves. If you stay silent, the court will not wait for you. Thanks for joining me in this discussion. I'll see you in the next video.